இருக்குது முத்தும் இருக்குது திறந்து பார்க்க நேரம் இல்லடி ராஜாத்தி.
சிங்க நடை போட்டு சிகரத்தில் ஏறு,
பேசக்கூடாது வெறும் பேச்சில் சுகம்.
வேவா செல்லாதே
வைத்த முகமோ கட்டி வைத்த குழலோ,
அவள் ஒரு நவரச நாடகம், ஆனந்த கவிதையின் ஆலயம். அவள் ஒரு நவரச நாடகம், ஆனந்த கவிதையின் ஆலயம். தழுவிடும் இனங்களில் மானினம், தமிழும் அவளும் ஓரினம்.
Okay, excellent. In no particular order. Okay, here is the first. Actually, this is from me. Example of some of the songs where you said, yes, I nailed it. And some songs which you felt, oh, darn it, if I had some more time, or if I did not have a prior commitment, I could probably revisit that song and do it again.
There may be plenty, sir. That should be in my beginning days, actually speaking. My talent was nascent enough, and I don't know how to stand before a microphone and how to modulate my voice and how to use the headphone. So maybe start with 3-4 years when I was literally was afraid of listening to the records. And 100%, almost every song had some nature, something else which I could have definitely corrected.
Okay.
And later period, that percentage has come down, no doubt about it.
Okay.
But whenever I listen to any song and every song, I always feel that I should have done certainly better than this, because sometimes I was not given the full liberty by the music directors, and sometimes my mood, due to so many other reasons, though I try to shut off all my personal problems when I go to the microphone. And sometimes something goes on teaching you or pricking you, which doesn't give me the full-fledged concentration over the song. So, but I could say that in ratio that is lesser for the past 25 years, I could say that.
Okay. How, there's another gentleman who has also asked this question. He's not here on the conference, which was that how difficult was it for him to hide an emotion he was going through in his personal life and express a different emotion in the song? Say you're really happy in a buoyant mood, but you go to the studio and you have to sing because hero's mother died. How difficult? I know obviously, and you're a marvelous playback singer, and playback singing is a combination of both drama as well as, or acting as well as singing. How you seem to do it so easily. Is it something which is natural, or is it something which you had to kind of learn from other people, or if you can explain that?
It's to start with, actually, I didn't know how I was doing it.
Okay.
Even now, when I refer to the old copies of my songs, I kept them almost intact. And later, after some time, I started writing them in books, and all those books are there with me.
Oh, okay.
So when I checked back, at least 20 years back papers, there was not even a small note written on the paper. Even I have not noted the repetition marks or something like that.
Oh, wow.
I still wonder how I did sing that number. So my receptiveness must have been very good, which is not an inculcated quality by myself. I think I'm born with that sort of quality, which is a plus point in me, because I'm not a trained singer. And after 4-5 years working with almost all the music directors, I knew what they want exactly. I know how a particular line has to be pronounced, how they need it, how soft they need, or how loud they need. So accordingly, I kept myself up very much. And all of a sudden, my patience, that played a very, very big part, because if not long back, of late recently, there are typical music directors who they don't know what they want, and just because they are surrounded by a galaxy of people in the mixer room, they want to just push the intercom button and say something to the singer, whoever he is. So at that times, it really sometimes it irritates, but I keep it to myself and do whatever I like, pretending as if I am doing what exactly he is asking. And regarding the first part of your question, the mood, it always is it's a very difficult job actually. You have a quarrel with your children, or you have shouted at your wife, or you were mad at your driver the way he was driving, and you get down at the recording studio, and the traces will be always there. But I somehow managed to do that, like கோவிலுக்கு போகும்போது செருப்பு வெளியில விட்டுட்டு உள்ள போற மாதிரி. I keep up all my other moves out, and when I go in, it's only my music, my musicians, and the presence of lots of musicians make me very happy actually, which of late I am not getting.
And you have given answers to a couple of other questions too in the process of giving that wonderful response, in the sense that also that actually a nice segue into the next question, which is that in the olden days, obviously, you had the recording happening simultaneously at the same time. Everybody who is creating the music is there. And these days, obviously, the song has been sung, part of the song has already been sung, and obviously entire music has been composed, or at least the skeleton has been composed, and then, overlays are happening before, during, after, etc. Does that, and this is not a question addressed to you as yourself, but you as a representative or somebody who is kind of there in terms of leading other people, in the youngsters who are trying to make a career. Do you think something like that can impede the growth of a musician? Because as you said, apart from the natural talent that you had, it's also acquired by observing, acquired by interacting with your co-musicians.
Go ahead.
Yeah, is that somehow affected because that phase of the industry is non-existent anymore?
It depends from person to person. For example, take the new entrants into the industry. Actually, they are very comfortable with the present situation, because even bar by bar they can punch in and punch out, and comfortably could be done.
Okay.
Likewise, musicians also, like tabla dholak players. In case at all there is a tabla dholak, which is a rarity these days. See, there are two patterns which is totally in the mind of the music director. One pattern, about 16 bars he records, and second pattern he records about 16 bars, and packs them off, and he goes on pasting wherever he wants to do it, which is giving a lot of time for the musicians to go and attend to other music directors' work. It's comfortable to them. And for the nascent singers, I should say, the adjective, because now the software has come, even if you are out of pitch, it should be corrected and made as if they have sung in the correct pitch. So, and most of the time, the boys, they sing the first sign and then go to the charanam. And in case the last sign is the same order, in this, they don't sing, they cut and paste it. They are saving a lot of their breath, and in that way, technologically, it's an advantageous thing. But what happens is, while we were doing live, suddenly, even after a couple of rehearsals, after going to the microphone, a particular range was not comfortable. If I was not sounding like myself, I could immediately call the music director from the microphone and said, if you could reduce the pitch by at least a semitone, I might be very comfortable. And totally all the musicians used to rewrite their score, and we used to have one more final rehearsal and then go to the microphone, and which made me sound better. Even that is possible now, because after even getting the track recorded, you can pitch shift it, but it is unnaturally shifting the pitch.
That is correct.
Either you have to compress or expand it. The instrument doesn't sound natural. And even while we are doing the live recording, I felt one particular phrase, by singing the second time, I could improvise better than the first time. And if the music director has spotted it only once, I could request him, I want to make it twice, and that was permitted. Even now that could be done, but you can only paste it. It won't come from first line to the second line.
Got it.
So there are advantages and disadvantages, and had there been this technology, they could have definitely utilized it, and we have to change with the times. But most of the times when I was doing the duet numbers, it was very interactive, whoever was my co-singer. Sometimes I was dominant depending upon the other singer and making them, rather bullying them to do a little better and better and better. And even some senior singers at times were asking me, in the gap ஏதாவது effective one கேட்கிறார் music director, what shall I do, Balu, you tell me about that. Or sometimes I asking somebody whether the swaram I have sung is right, or I am producing a wrong note or something like that. That possibility is always was there when they're singing together, which doesn't occur these days. And most of the times, the one singer who is singing first, in case the other singer had already sung, okay, otherwise they don't know who is exactly the singer, because now they don't make songs keeping the singer in mind. They record the track and then search for the singers. That is the unfortunate affair.
Balaji, can you ask a question? Meanwhile, I will look for other questions here. Balaji?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
SPB sir, in this concert tour, what do you get as feedback from the people? Do people want you to sing the latest and greatest songs, or do they want you to sing known hits, popular songs, or do they want you to sing rare classics? What kind of feedback are you getting during this concert tour?
Most of the time, nobody was literally asking for the latest numbers at all. Actually, in one concert, I asked them to put a basket somewhere there and asked them to throw all their requests written on sheets. When I went through it, most of them were the older numbers only. And by most, 10%, nobody has asked for a latest song at all, as far as my North America tour until now has happened. And those numbers also were mostly melody-oriented numbers. They may be classics or they may be softer numbers. And most of the time, I think they were trying to identify some incident or identify some experience or identify some time along with the song they spent previously. That is what I reckon.
Okay, Balaji, go ahead with that one.
Thank you. How often do you listen to the finished product? Do you does it just happen by happenstance? Do you, like on TV or radio, do you get to listen to the finished songs, or do you actually make an effort to listen to the song once it's completed, once the songs that you've sung?
So every time I go for a recording, even if it is half the number, or the music is not ready, or the other singer has not done, I will certainly ask them to play my numbers, my lines, listen to that, and sometimes I go back and say, I'm not clean here, let me do it again. I go into the booth and do it again. But the finished product, most of the times I'm not seeing the films nowadays. A very rare thing, I go to the cinema hall and see. But when the cassettes or the discs are released, I definitely play it once and listen to the number. No second thought about that.
Okay.
Can I ask one more?
Yeah.
Okay, actually quite a few of the people who have asked the question has asked this question, and of course this is quote-unquote your trade secret, which is secret of his ever youthful voice. Does he believe in vigorous riyaj?
Sir, I think at this stage, and I had never been, people think that I had been, presenting myself in the too low esteem or underplaying myself or like that. No. I have a lot of self-pride and I know what I am actually. And I know what I don't know also. And literally speaking, this is $1 million question to me actually. You see, I occasionally smoke.
Okay.
And I every day drink my 3 drinks of whiskey.
Okay.
And I drink all the cold beverages. Without ice water, I cannot live. And I sleep less actually these days. I have become a couch potato, or I spend a lot of time with my grandchildren, particularly the grand twins I got through Charan. And it's always really, I think I'm blessed. And I will never ask all the junior singers, my next generation singers who are, in case they happen to or read these lines or listen to these things, do this, because it is like the caption they put before an ad gentlemen, don't try to do this at home. These people are professionals. I don't know, it is happening, that's it. I'm 58 now. Maybe I'm say 5% breathless because I cannot run and go to the microphone and sing like I used to do 5 years back. But even in the concert, to start with, I'll have a trillion butterflies in my stomach. That is not for thinking of how I am going to sing or how the audience will react, or it's not like that. I'll be thinking of all the perfectionism of the musician and how I present myself on the stage. And most of the time, I know I can get the audiences into my way because I chat with them a lot, and maybe I'm made up in such a fashion. Everybody thinks I'm the next boy next door, or a part and parcel of their family, or something like that. And this, I don't rehearse at all. There are a couple of days, if I don't record, I won't be singing at all. I don't even croon or hum, even in the bathroom. I just go on reading so many things or listening to music, somebody else's music. And this is, as you said, if it is a ரகசியம் அப்படின்னா நிஜமாவே எனக்கு தெரியாது. And I think if at all there is somebody sitting upstairs and I happen to go up there after some time, I will definitely asking him why you have been kinder with me. That's all.
Thank you for that response.